49RC, and today, for part of the 500 sub special, we are doing a shop tour. I'm super excited to show you guys all the amazing equipment that I'm so blessed to have, and that my dad and I are so blessed to have. So that's all I gotta say, man. Let's get right into it. Let's start by going outside, checking out a couple things here. Okay, so outside here we've got our oxyacetylene tanks for gas welding and torch cutting and stuff. Got an extra tank for our TIG welder, which I'll show you guys in a bit, and our air compressor. I want to say this is an 80 or a 100-gallon tank. My dad took the head and actually put it on this different tank, as I recall, something along those lines. This thing is a beast, though, let me tell you. I love this compressor so much. And it's not that it doesn't run fast, but it's great. So that's it for in there. It's just a little shed outside here. So here's the shop. It's a big mess right now. We've got a lot of stuff going on. You guys saw some of the cinematics I just did. Let's just start from right over here when we walk in the door. This is our belt sander that we use for, we do a lot of woodworking here. So if you guys don't know, my dad and I do a lot of woodworking. So we have a lot of woodworking equipment. So this is our belt sander. Just have some welding equipment down below and our floor jack. This monstrosity is our dust collector that my dad built. 5-horse motor on top, all the piping and stuff. Runs along the walls there, as you can see, down to the different equipment. And then behind the door here, actually, we've got our press that we got recently. Since I'm working on my Jeep a lot, I needed a press, so we got a press. Then also right as you walk in the door, right now, this is a Ford 9-inch axle out of a Ford pickup. It's like a 76, 77 Ford pickup, and this is going to go under my Jeep Cherokee that I'm currently working on. Same with this Dana 44, which also came out of it, and some of the various other things, which I'll show you in a bit. So over here, just continuing on from this direction, basically. Right here we have our TIG welder. It's a Miller Dynasty 280. I've used it quite a bit. It'll also do stick, which we haven't done yet, but it's a lot of fun to use. This is our bandsaw. It came out of an old high school wood shop, I think. It's a Powermatic, I'm pretty sure. Don't know what size the wheels are, but big, if that gives you any idea. We've resawn like 12-inch logs on this thing. It's an absolute beast. We've got our Radial Arm Saw here. These things are known for being stupidly sketchy because you're supposed to be able to do a lot of different things. You're supposed to be able to cross-cut, you're supposed to be able to miter, you're also supposed to be able to rip on them and do all sorts of really crazy sketchy things that we don't do with it. We basically just use it as a chop saw. At one point back when I was in elementary school, we actually had 4 radial arm saws just chilling. Like, we had this one, and then we had 3 others actually that my dad had for a while. Sorry if this corner of the shop's a little bit dark, by the way. The light's out. I was going to replace it, but we don't have any light bulbs, so. And then, yeah, like I said, we've got our dust collector system, which my dad has been working on for most of my life, and it's finally done. But of course, right as we're done with it and we actually start using it, we're going to be remodeling soon. We're going to be taking out this wall, and we're going to be putting in a 3rd car garage for all of our stuff because we don't have enough space, basically. Then over here, buried under all those scraps, is our old Powermatic table saw. That thing was so nice, and it's really powerful too. But since I started using the table saw recently, my dad got a saw stop because we decided, you know what, I'm not going to be cutting my fingers off because he actually cut his pinky. It's like the corner of his pinky. He cut a long time ago, so not so great. And then basically just kind of all the stuff down below, just garbage and nonsense, extra tools, some sockets, different specialty tools down there, sawhorses, and then trash can, nonsense. This is our planer. I think it's a 14-inch Powermatic planer. And oh my god, since we got the dust collector hooked up to it, it is a joy to use because I am no longer on the outfeed of it. Therefore, I'm not getting sprayed in the face by wood chips and dust and all that stuff, which sucks. Then moving here into the center, my dad is rebuilding his engine out of his Ford Ranger. It had an oil pan gasket leak, and a rear main seal I think was leaking too, so he pulled it out, tore it down, got everything machined and all sorts of new stuff. I didn't help him much on it because I've got my own projects, but yeah, that's his project. And back over here is my dad's workbench, mostly just stuff from the engine on it. And then in this drawer we've got mostly like cutting tools for our angle grinder, sawzall, also got some Craig screw, miscellany here. And in this drawer is most of our chisels and other such things. Down below here we have all of our power tools. We've got air nailers, sanders, routers, plenty of drills, sawzall, angle grinder. There's a like a handheld bandsaw back there too, Milwaukee tools one. We had a lot of Milwaukee tools. That's probably my dad and my favorite tool brand, as you can see. Plenty of that nice red going on down there. And we have it's a dovetail jig, I believe, down there. Haven't ever used that. I mean, my dad has, but I personally haven't. And over on this side of the workbench, just some of our hand saws. Personally, I absolutely love, come on, focus please. I love using those Japanese saws. They're so nice and they cut really easily and straight. And this is our like mechanics toolbox basically. So in the top we've got impact sockets, got torque wrench and sockets up top because he's working on stuff. Screwdrivers, which don't have many of right now. More torque wrenches. This Craftsman torque wrench apparently is like 10 foot-pounds off or something ridiculous, so don't buy this one. That's what the handle looks like. Don't buy it. We got two really nice gear wrench ones. That one, my dad said this one actually slips a little bit, but that one up top there is actually really, really nice. Some various wrenches. These are gear wrenches, like with the ratchety turny thing in them. Those are really nice. So all of our sockets. I feel like we have more sockets somewhere, but I'm not sure where. Oh, this wrench actually. This is a Craftsman V-Series ratchet, and I got this for my dad for Christmas last year actually. It was sitting on the bottom shelf of a Lowe's, like, inventory rack, or like, whatever you want to call it. And it said, like, I forget what it said. It was returned to the store as, like, it was defective or something, or just broke, because Craftsman used to have, like, a lifetime warranty. I don't know if they still do or not, but this was, like, 25 bucks. Such a nice ratchet. The only thing that's wrong with it that I'm going to look into is the ratcheting part actually slips, but I'm going to look into fixing that because it's such a nice wrench. Definitely worth it. Just down here we've got all of our miscellaneous tools, die grinder, impact guns, piston ring filer, just all sorts of nonsense down there. And those are all of our big wrenches because there's not space for them up here anywhere. Those are basically all of our kind of like car like mechanics tools, because we've gotten into that recently. I mean, my dad doesn't really think we're car people, but I think we're car people because I don't think that a lot of car people have rebuilt an engine in their garage. Therefore, I think that makes us car people. Would you agree? I don't know. All right, moving on. This is our joiner. Don't know where this came from. I probably got it off Craigslist. Honestly, 90% of the tools in here are bought off Craigslist. Actually, that's not true. About 60%. Well, let me correct myself there. These are just back here, all of our chemicals, solvents, paints, glues, and all sorts of other miscellaneous nonsense. Oh, down there is a Festool. In that box is a Festool circular saw. Whew, is that thing nice. It's one of the, like, it's a track saw. So it actually, like, has a track that it rides against. And that is really nice for cutting plywood especially. And back there in the corner, alone and neglected, is our mortising machine. It's basic. If you guys don't know what a mortising machine is, it's literally just a drill press that drills square holes. That's literally all it does. But it's a really great machine for what it does. It's also a Powermatic. If you can't tell, we like Powermatic tools here. Turning around here, I'm squinched for space, but this is just one of our supply cabinets. Got drill bits and taps and dies at the top, some various finishing stuff. There's more taps and drill bits up there. Random orbit sander sanding discs. Electrical, miscellany. 3/8 nuts and bolts and 5/16 nuts and bolts. And 1/4" nuts and bolts, which we need more 1/4" washers, which my dad got some of recently, I believe. Miscellaneous hardware, mostly smaller stuff, 1032s and stuff like that in there. Tape and adhesives for tape and adhesives, basically. And then we've got wood screws, because we do a lot of woodworking, as I've said before. We need our wood screws. Nails, plenty of different varieties, plenty of air nails. In the bottom, we have sandpaper, which sandpaper is one of those things that you really can't have enough of, and if you have too much, you have a serious problem. Because if you have too much, then you really have too much. Small anvil down there for various things. I don't know what that little thing is called. It's like a little press of some sort. It's like a pin press, but I'm not really sure what it's called. And then this is our floor standing grinder. This is a great tool. I don't even know what company made it, or like what the company, Brown Brockmeyer company. There you go. That's the company that made it. My dad got this off Craigslist. We kind of fixed it up. I don't think it turned on originally, or it needed 3-phase power or something like that. I forget. Something or other, and it didn't work, so we fixed it. We do a lot of fixing things. My dad likes taking things apart and refurbishing things, especially tools. Just have all of our clamps, C-clamps, bar clamps, whole lot more C-clamps. You can never have enough C-clamps, I'm telling you. This is a slip roll. It's a 36-inch, or is that 48? I don't know. Big slip roll. We hardly ever use it, but it's pretty cool. I like it. And this is our lathe. I've used this more than my dad has at this point, actually. Last year I had a small woodworking business where I turned some bowls and I turned some other stuff and I sold them, and that went pretty good, but I decided not to do it this year because I'm just not interested in the mass production thing. Granted, I didn't ever make a very large amount of anything, but I prefer more creative, artistic things as opposed to just lots of one thing, you know? This is just a small shelf drawer with different stuff for turning, calipers and stuff like that. Different jaws and centers. Down here is a bunch of our scrap metal. These plates here, I'm gonna be building a forge soon because I've always kind of been interested in blacksmithing and I've never really gotten around to doing anything with blacksmithing, but that's what these plates are for. They probably weigh like 20 pounds each. And just more miscellaneous stuff. This is all welding practice. Like, that's one of my welds. Focus? No? Okay, fine. I don't know. I don't see any good ones to show you guys right now. That one's not bad. That one's pretty good. Anyway, that's all that's there. This pipe is also for my forge that I'm going to be building. This metal and stuff back there, some sheet metal and stuff, that's also for it. This is our drill press. It doesn't drill very straight, or our bits walk, which is fault of the bits, not fault of the drill press. But it's good, served us for a while. Then on to Myspace. Whew, Myspace is a little messy here. Like I said, this is Dana 44 that I took apart and that I'm rebuilding for my Jeep. That's the like differential rebuild kit. I'm not going to show you what's in my drawers just because it's like absolutely random stuff that is completely irrelevant to tools and what's in my workspace. But I suppose people are probably going to be asking, so okay. See, literally just absolutely random garbage. I wanted to make props, like movie props at one point, so I was kind of collecting stuff. But yeah, it's just a whole lot of not much in here. This drawer is all railroad spikes and stuff that I collected. I was trying to make a set of armor at one point. That's what that stuff is. Just more random stuff. I mean, not very interesting. It's not tools. Oh, I made a clock out of this old saw blade, but it broke because it was too heavy. And up here, this is just all my stuff basically, but this is the forge blower that I'm going to be using for my forge. I took it apart and cleaned it up. New ring gear, 4.88. New pinion gear. Knuckle there. The other one's down there. Rotors and hubs I'm going to take the turn this week at my internship. Get those on the go. I've also got an airbrush. Don't know if you guys know, but I've got an airbrush in there. This is also just all my stuff. More just kind of random nonsense up here. That's kind of a box of like memory stuff. Like stuff that I've built in the past that I've saved that's kind of small. Down here I have some stuff for like resin, wood and resin projects, which I never actually did one. My dad did one, but I didn't get around to it. And over here is anodizing stuff. I did do some I did dive into some anodizing at one point. Don't know if I could find any samples. No, I don't see where I put them. I had a bag of samples, but oh well. That was a lot of fun actually. I enjoyed the anodizing. It was hard though, honestly. Like it's hard to get it consistent. I did a lot of testing and stuff. Just more stuff down here, stuff for my rear air locker, which is in the Ford 9-inch there. I am doing my own gears, and oh my god, let me tell you, the 9-inch is like the best axle in the world. I don't know why Dana didn't make their axles third member axles, because they're so easy to set up. Oh my god. Anyway, that's that, and then this is our big tool chest. I'll just go top down here. Got stuff for sharpening chisels, various Tormex stuff, hand planes. My dad likes hand planes and hand tools and stuff. You got most of these probably at flea markets or yard sales or whatever. Various other woodworking tools. I used the draw plane the other day to make an axe handle. Whew, that is nice. I really enjoyed that. It's like sculpting a lot, so it was pretty cool. Safety, always very important around here. More sharpening stuff, some whetstones, block planes. Hopefully you guys can see. I'm just kind of pointing this camera where I think it belongs. Yeah, I like block planes. They're kind of cool. I don't use them much, but they're cool. Flashlights and meters, just because those are two random things that when we were sorting through this, we had no idea what to, where to put them. Plumbing miscellany, glue, emery paper, you know, all that stuff. Safety, marking and measuring. This used to be, well, it used to be safety marking measuring. It's now just marking and measuring, but it has now been overtaken by measuring. And now that we've gotten more calipers and dial indicators and other various engine measuring stuff, bore gauges and other stuff that I don't even know what it is. But yeah, that's that. There's our pliers and cutters drawer. It's starting to get pretty full, actually. This whole pouch is just full of snap ring pliers that my dad got recently. If you guys are looking for a good brand for pliers, Knipex is like top of the line. They're made in Germany and they're really, really good. Knives, scissors and knives and other blades and stuff. Screwdrivers, this is where most of our other screwdrivers are, but these aren't like our nice screwdrivers. Our nice ones are over in the mechanics cabinet, whatever you want to call it, tool chest. Drill, drive, and router. So drill bits, or like weird drill bits, special drill bits, different driver bits and router bits, all sorts of everything in here. Dremel stuff in there too. Right, well, okay. This used to be wrenches when we didn't have enough wrenches to fill 50% of that cabinet. But this is just like O-rings and stuff like that. Let's see, what's even in here? O-rings, got grommets, E-clips, and terminals and stuff like that. Files, pretty important. Oh, I already opened that one. Leather. I'm kind of into leather a little bit. I like doing projects with leather, like, I don't know, I can't think of one right now, but oh, I made a mask for the axe that I cleaned up and made. And then there's Allen wrenches. There's also supposed to be a gear puller in there, but that is right there on the ground in that box. This is just kind of miscellaneous stuff. Paint, staple guns. Well, it's mostly paint and putty and stuff like that. Air tools, which there aren't many air tools in right now. This stuff could probably go in the other tool chest. This is another just random supply drawer with just nonsense in. And finally, hammers and pry bars and large wrenches and stuff. And for whatever reason, a wax toilet bowl gasket. I don't know why that's in there. It's been in there for freaking years. And on the floor here is also, top box is a pinion depth gauge and the bottom box is a spanner wrench. Now on top of the box is just more crap, basically. Just utterly random stuff that doesn't really have any better place to go or doesn't fit anywhere else, so we just throw it up top there. Sorry if it's a little bit overexposed. I think the only thing that I've missed in here is our supply rack. We also have a whatchamajig. What is this? It's a case spreader. That's what that is. We got that recently, and that is super cool, because what this does is this sits on the pumpkin of the axle, and it's got pins that go into those two holes, and it spreads the housing open so you can drop your carrier in really easy. And when you put a dial indicator between there and you actually see it moving, it is so cool. Like, I kid you not, it is super, super awesome. So, supply racks, we just basically have large amounts of lumber, but this isn't just like 2x4s and stuff, it's like nice hardwood and stuff. We don't have a ton of like garbage wood in here. It's mostly hardwood, ash, oak, cherry, poplar, purple heart, all that stuff. Yeah, and then up top is a bunch of our metal supply and stuff, different pieces of metal. Let me see if I can get you up higher. There you go. You can see, got just metal stock for building whatever. It's like, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter how much material you have. Every project you do, you will always need more material or hardware or whatever. It doesn't matter. Only other tool I think I missed was our shear, little 8-inch shear. Great for doing little sheet metal pieces, for making brackets and stuff for like RC car stuff, basically. Alright guys, so I'm pretty sure I have covered everything in here. This is my haven, heaven, whatever. It's my favorite place to be in the world, and I wouldn't choose to be anywhere else, because I love building stuff. As you know, I love working on things, and I just love being out here. I've been out here since I was a wee dibbin'. Been woodworking since I was very little. I mean, obviously not fine woodworking as I can now, or as I do now, but, you know, hammering nails into boards and stuff like that. It's training. It's on-the-job training, man. That's what it's all about. When I was 18 months, actually, my mom was making dinner, and I wanted a screwdriver that was on top of the microwave, and she gave it to me, and she was like, oh, that's alright, whatever. And so within probably 5 minutes, I had the kitchen cupboard doors off. So, that was pretty funny. Anyway, with that being said, hope you guys have enjoyed. My arm's getting tired from holding the camera because it's a little bit heavy. I hope you guys aren't too distressed by the whole COPPA incident, but I enjoy getting out here and relieving myself of some stress. So, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you thought if you want any of these tools. Once again, I'm so grateful and blessed that I have access to all this equipment. So, thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.